IMF Ghana Eco CCR. You best start to show. And I told Ghanaians that you should be very careful. You should be ready. You should be alert because the media, some of them, and they cannot say anything bad about Akufo-Addo. And they are preparing to come turn this whole IMF thing against the NDC. The Omo plan is Omo Babe and say Omo Babe send the Omo media for no, Omo Peace FM 4, Omo Insha FM, Omo Asempa FM 4, Omo Sa Cocaine Media, Joy News for no, Omo Babe send the Omo Abe change narrative no. Na dear no Omo Baye. Me benya butre a church no be mu achirebo. John Dramani Mahama in the NDC for over 3 to 4 years they have suggested solutions to Ghana's problem. And I said Ghana's problems. Now, there are so many problems you face since Akufo-Addo came into office. And consistently, out of experience and out of patriotism, the NDC led by John Mahama in opposition have always and consistently suggested solutions, antidotes to this NPP government. But the reason is, Abai Wena and Abai Bia, Jimmy Adukuromunti, they are not willing to even open up and listen to other views. Remember, we were here in Ghana, and John Mahama assembled the whole country, say, Senchi. Now, Ghana economy, how we are going to move forward, whether we're going to go to IMF or try and find some solutions to it. This president, Jimmy way, he does not meet the press. The finance minister does not sit on the same TV with people who have other ideas to challenge his views. We live in this country, COVID-19 expenditure, dealings, government contracts, we don't know. So it's getting to that point whereby we have a government that is not transparent. But if there's one thing I would take away from, I will credit the NDC for, especially John Mahama and the NDC now, how consistently, even though this government have tried everything to rubbish everything that they have done, they have consistently suggested solutions to this government. Take them, just think about them, just put on the table and see whether say a bit more buana sembwa. Now we are gonna near memma and kwasiafo we mbabiem to start their nonsense and start to lie to you. Say, I am a from Okono, a NDC for, and a cause problem bimrebi, and a omuntina and the yedruha omoboa. Kwame Sefa can be started. Paul Adumoche be started. A year Peace FM for be started. OKFM for be started. A year Insra FM. A year Asempa Obini or Mahine. They are going to try and change the narrative. Ghana niya Oshamende. A year Nanado Dankwe Akufo-Addo. And a dig Ghana. A year Bawumia. A year Alankash. A year ko minini nkwasiafo form kan MPP aban ene de Ghana eko IMF because ye sika someone to eno oma say no eno ene also told him omo ka so nim nyansa chen obia. Now take your time and watch this. John Dramani Mahama and the NDC, they have consistently shown say a crony team this government should be able to listen and take advice from a year omo governance on, especially more experienced. Now, somebody like Paul Adumoche, I did some time back, and what he did was, time John Dramani Mahama, release speech chair, and that's what ninsam chair every NDC company during the Crossroads presentation. There was one thing John Mahama did. He didn't just come and speak on the problems facing Ghana, but John Mahama decided to tell the government, give the government solutions for free. Paul Adumoche sat on Metro TV, any other media people. Eka said, John Mahama's Crossroads speech, about Ghana's economy and what we can do to save Ghana, it did not have any substance. I didn't try. John Mahama did not suggest any solutions to Akufo-Addo's government. Makachomo, consistently since Akufo-Addo became president, John Mahama knew from opposition Akufo-Addo was dumb. John Mahama has dealt with Akufo-Addo for a long time. He has been a politician in parliament with him. He knows the level of Akufo-Addo's intelligence. He knows Akufo-Addo is dumb as anything. So he was always, every time, suggesting and trying to tell him, take advice and this will help you because I know, sir, we are Jimmy. You don't have that intelligence to rule. Now, Paul Ademochi did something about Metro TV. And Obeka check Ghana for say, John Mahama's speech at the crossroads, no, John Mahama did not suggest any solutions. Let's listen to Paul Ademochi. We will listen to John Mahama's speech. Did John Mahama give solutions? And I say, Paul Ademochi mono deliberate to say, we want to know today, crossroads, no, was John Mahama, did the NDC give this government solutions? COVID-19 time, when the economy started dwindling, all these things, did the NDC led by John Mahama give solutions? Did they? When has a fact, no, are there? This is Paul Ademochi doing damage, asking questions about solutions from the NDC. Yentie Paul.
That is not the Ghana we want. We want a Ghana where when the problems occur, people sit around the table and think through it as the final solution. We ourselves are the final solution to our problem. Our solution is not somebody sitting in Washington called IMF. Our solution is not somebody sitting in Geneva called European Union. We must get that thinking out of our head. Our solution is our business community. Our solution is our millionaires. Our solution is our football. Our solution is our talent. That's our solution. That's what God has given us, and God has given us more than He gave to a lot of people. Our solution is the resources under the earth. Our solution is the resources under the sea. That's our solution. Our leaders should not see our solution as taking a paper and climbing a plane and going to Washington, D.C. and go and give it to some Obroni and say, here is our problem. Our GDP, debt to GDP ratio is now 85%. Because of COVID, we are suffering. Obroni, can you help us do something? No. That's what President Mahama is saying. Put it together, go to IMF. Where is that coming from? All those who are saying that must stop. In fact, they must stop. All those who are saying, hey, tell the MPP to go to IMF. No. President Mahama set up a committee during COVID, didn't he? He set up an NDC committee during COVID. So he should set up an economic team and come to do a broadcast to the nation and say, this is my solution to the problems we are having. We don't need e-levy. We can get it from here. We can do that. We can do that. This is my solution. As we said the other day, show us what it would have been if you were the president. Then we can understand what we are missing. And then when the polls come in 2024, we'll go for what we are missing.
So this comedy you are watching was from Paul Ademochi after John Mahama came out with the crossroads, suggesting and giving the government some ideas on how to save our economy and then make sure that our spending, our fiscal discipline, everything is in line. John Mahama just didn't come speak during the crossroads. Obama Ekufuado abayno dieng solutions. He said, "Disan some way so, udinyansa some way so ebeboye." As a Paul Ademochi say, Ghana for Jimmy. This is what transpired at crossroads, and this is what John Mahama said. Listen.
I remain confident that, in spite of the current gloom, we can turn things around and create a brighter future for ourselves. Ghana's best days are still ahead. And some of the alternatives we propose are as follows. Those directly responsible for the economic crisis must bear responsibility. And it is inconceivable that the Minister of Finance remains at post. Having presided over the worst economic meltdown in Ghana's recent history, the President must, as a matter of urgency and without further delay, relieve the Minister of Finance of his position. And appoint someone who is focused on national rather than self-interest and who has the requisite skill, experience, and knowledge of public financial management in his stead. The personal benefit that the current minister and his cronies derive from borrowing on our behalf through the commissions they take by their companies who serve as transaction advisors raises an unacceptable conflict of interest situation which must end immediately. It goes without saying that the economic management team, that solid team, has failed and must be reconstituted immediately with fresh ideas and perspectives. Having supervised the worst public debt buildup, the worst budget deficit, the worst debt to GDP ratio, the worst credit rating downgrades, and the worst performing currency in the world, the worst crisis of confidence in our economy, the highest fuel prices ever rising inflation, the worst ever rising inflation, unprecedented hardships, etc., the current head of the economic management team has clearly fallen from his ivory tower as a self-styled economic messiah to a poster boy. We add that it is time to change the structure of our economy by allowing Ghanaians to achieve the popular General Achampong mantra of capturing the commanding heights of our economy. We must increase the GNP of our country as a share of our GDP. Otherwise, impressive GDP growth numbers are mostly the share of foreign investors and subject to repatriation at will. We must leverage our comparative advantage in agriculture by investing in agribusiness to complete the agricultural value chain in respect of marketing and processing of our agricultural products. These are some of the interventions government must adopt in earnest. This is not a time for political posturing and display of empty pride. We are staring down the cliff of economic collapse, and every day wasted winds down the clock further. Action needs to be taken now. Results. Alternatively, the President may want to consider appointing one of the mainly highly qualified Ghanaian public finance management experts to lead the economic management team. The third one, the President must, as a matter of urgency, reshuffle his cabinet. More than 5 years of an administration without a major cabinet reshuffle has calcified the management of the ministries, departments, and agencies. These MDAs and SOEs have become fiefdoms in which untouchable ministers and heads of agencies are now monarchs of all they survey. Yet they lack the energy, the passion, and ideas to turn these moribund situations around within the MDAs. Fresh ideas are needed. Morale is at a low in these ministries and agencies. The seriousness of the economic meltdown must compel government to unveil a clear and workable course of action emanating from broad-based thinking and consultation, rather than its current state of denial and wrong causal attributes. Such broad consultation must lead to a post-COVID economic recovery plan, a program that will focus our energies on building an economy whose fruits of growth will benefit all Ghanaians and give everybody a fair chance at success. The participants of this broad-based consultation must reflect the demographic, social, and economic status mix of our country. There must be a clear and measurable reduction in government expenditure. Even though this is not an easy course of action, but it's a necessary one. Nonetheless, I'll be the first to admit, after running an economy on 0% central bank financing in 2016. However, a crisis such as this requires drastic measures. I'm of the view that an open and transparent discussion of the true situation with the citizenry will help achieve this objective.
So this is John Mahama speaking at a crossroads. And John Mahama gave the government a lot of points and solutions. But why do you think a Ghanaian who calls himself a journalist will come on TV and make it look like John Mahama Kasa and Wama are buying away solutions? Consistently for 4 years, John Mahama has always been advising this government. The NDC as a political party, they have always advised this government. Even they have, at a point, suggested the government looks at their manifesto and whatever is in there that they think is good they can use, they should just use it. They don't care. NDC for crash suggested Sadi and Amomo. But for Paul Adomachu to come and sit on TV and foolishly exhibit the highest form of stupidity, because or your party foot soldier because or your campaign Mame Kufuor. John Mahama talked about those who are directly involved in the mismanagement of this economy. They should be what? The president should fire them. He has said it consistently. Ken Ofori-Atta yampamono. In any country, Ken Ofori-Atta will be the first person to be sacked. John Mahama have said it. And so Kwasiato is Paul things. Wearing some suit in a science brown. He thinks he's so knowledgeable he can just convince the foolish intellectuals who don't think. Oma kusku so Jimmy. And can all refer to crossroads. Nankama kohako tie. Ebu says John Mahama, did he give solutions? John Mahama talked about qualified persons to occupy the financial sector. Ken Ofori-Atta is not qualified. For 6 years, this guy has run this country down consistently. So the first antidote and the first solution John Mahama suggested was that sack the finance minister. Why is the Kufuor scared to sack the finance minister? John Mahama also talked about get away with conflict of interest. The government should try and deal with it. Because the conflict of interest issue, no, and then the yeti here, aban nipa, omo ya aban nipa, no mo sa contract deals omo benefit. You see Ken Ofori-Atta ne bank, data bank, and then the intermediary Ghana sell bonds. At the end of the day, the commission the finance minister's bank gets is bigger than what Ghana gets. These are things that John Mahama suggested. Say, Kufuor, this Ebusua dwarfs of only the way, no, he should take in good faith and act on it. But anytime John Mahama speaks to this Ebusua dwarfs of Ebusua Penini leader, we know he does not listen. John Mahama said what? John Mahama said economic management team has been a failure. In fact, the leader of the economic management team, no, he is supposed to be kicked out of that management, and the management team itself should be nullified. These are solutions. These are things that when you take, because their minds are stale, they don't have that intelligence to lead our economy and take decisions that will change our economic destiny. John Mahama said, increase GNP as the GDP issues is becoming a problem. He gave you clear-cut technical solutions. Why are we not looking at these solutions and asking the president and his finance minister, these solutions, have you tried it? Did it work or it did not work? But for a journalist like that to come and sit on TV and say, John Mahama, no, Jimmy, and what hurts me is the so-called Yeni Ayako school, no, do now when Jimmy party Adokrom, this is what they listen to. Sit down and go back and say, what did John Mahama say during the crossroads? Did he actually suggest anything? Did he actually tell the government these are solutions? So Ghana Yawodia, will you still keep Ofori-Atta as your finance minister? I am asking you, Ghana Yawodia. Kennedy Japon question pay no no. So any radio station fino Kenanka managing the finances and go back keeping ho. Let's stop being foolish. Let's stop being party foot fools and then talk to the issues. John Mahama suggestion. He told the government, concentrate and invest in agribusiness, agriculture, invest in it, turn it, rebrand it, let it look more enticing. Make the business part be your focus. John Mahama suggested this. And this was at the crossroads. By Paul Yakwasi Ampenyinti, Onim say MPP is better than Ghana. The question of TV, so it's all about MPP. No, we look at the issues. If John Mahama did not suggest solutions, I wouldn't have that to show you today. But because John Mahama said it, I have the clip to show you. Said John Mahama suggested solutions, antidotes to our problem before I ever drew how. And this has been 2-3 years back. This crossroads was the latest. Was another press release? We are not listening. Yeah, Jimmy, Mekacham said the most qualified person in Ghana today to lead Ghana is John Mahama. He has gone through the mill. Who has gone through the mill in Ghana? When we talk about political mill, John Mahama is the only person who has gone through the mill. And they boni dinya, sorry, because in Ghana, without John Mahama and Dr. Kwame Nkrumah's influence in our infrastructure, in our educational sector, health sector, we wouldn't be where we are today. So it is very important we take our time, analyze, and send a kwasibia betana TV. So they are preparing propaganda. And this Nediako IMF is a lie. John Mahama Kachan said, Mr. President, in our history as a government or as a nation, you are the only president that is failing or has failed to reshuffle your cabinet and your ministers. Why? Because you owe everybody. You owe everybody an excuse. You owe everybody a favor. Conflict of interest is inside your ass. A president who cannot reshuffle his ministers is a criminal. John Mahama suggested reshuffle your ministers. Don't be foolish. Reshuffle your ministers. Let some people, because some people are old dogs. Some people have cemented their place and they have been shrined in that corruption for 4 or 5 years. So they are used to it. Change them and let's see some fresh ideas will come. Nana Dankwe Kufuor and this foolish Ebusua dwarfs, they decided not to listen. Paul Adomachi Kwasiampenyi Abetana TV said, John Mahama did not suggest anything. John Mahama consistently for 6 years has been suggesting, has been giving Kufuor solutions, antidotes to our problem. Anything they want IMF no Kwasiampenyi on TF2. John Mahama talked about broader consultation. That is why the Senchi and San John Mahama ko IMF no otie Ghana for how dear homo and Sana all take a decision. He did not just wake up one day and Kwasiebia release a statement and can't say, let's go to IMF. We needed a broader consultation. That is when you would know people's views. You apply it and you add it to what you have and say, is this a good decision? John Mahama tie Ghana for Agada intelligence, Agada intellectuals, Agada autocrats, Ogada say, guys, give me ideas. I have an idea, but I am not governing alone. You are the people. And the people came and suggested, let's go. Let's not go. Let's go because of this. Let us go. And at the end of the day, a decision was taken. That is why infrastructure, Ghana, and the health sector, good. It is opening up, you broaden the consultation. Ekufuor did not listen. 4 years. Kwasiebia releasing letter and for Jubilee, I'll say, IMF, just like that. No consultation, nothing. All the people in Ghana want nyansa. Kwasiebia releasing one statement. IMF. Give us a reason why we are going to IMF. Tell us, you made you the leader to direct us. Today, you just make that decision without us. John Dramani Mahama talked about expenditure, how we have to trim down our expenditure. He suggested it to the government. Cut down so many ministries. Cut down the way you are spending. Make sure you live within your means. And Kwasiafo did not hear all these things. Paul Adomachi TV so catch say John Dramani Mahama did not suggest. Mamenka bi binchiremo. Ghana for me. Sorry. Let me tell you something today. And this brings me to how some people in Ghana, Ghana for I saw something during the demonstration. And I'm talking about how Ghana, it's about time we brought in businessmen. It's about time we started opening up and allowing Ghanaian investors, Ghana Fwa, they are willing to do good, willing to open our employment, willing to share their ideas, share their investment to open up our economy. This is the time. We need the Ibrahim Mahamas. We need the Sam Jonas. We need the Kwekutins. We need the Kwame Despites. We need the McDans. We need all the guys we know are doing legitimate business, that are employing, that have been in this for a long time. This is the time a government and he will say, I need these people. They need to come together. We need to at least, let's put aside our political affiliations. Every politician has a political party. Every businessman. Your businessmen are, when NDC comes to power, they make money. Your businessman are, when MPP comes to power, they make money. But now we are all suffering. So this is the time the government needs to open up and say, all businessmen, the ones we know are doing legitimate business, they are employing, come together and suggest something. They can drive our policies and drive our economic policies. They can suggest, they can even invest. Because if these people all come together and say, I am always going to release $3 million every 6 months or every year. We are 10 people. We are each releasing $3 million. Mr. President, we want you to channel it into agribusiness. It's at you do that point, we need to support our own. Everybody knows, in fact, when you're looking at all these businessmen, everybody knows my issue with a year McDan. I have an issue with McDan. Some decisions you took are wrong. When it comes to a year trade fair, I think some decisions were hastily taken and he needs to correct it.